This is Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Anthony provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Keys with your host, Anthony Congemi.
All right, welcome to another show of Retirement Keys. I'm your host, Anthony Congemi, with Crescent City Retirement Group, and we have our co-host, Mr. Tony Shore, with us this morning, as we do every Sunday morning. We want to thank you all for tuning in and joining us this morning. I think we have a pretty good topic this morning that's very important as it relates to retirement planning. We're going to be talking about Social Security and Social Security benefits. But before we get into our show, Tony, thank you so much for joining us. We really could not do the show without you, and we appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, Anthony. It's always a blast. And wow, you picked a great topic today, Social Security benefits, maximization, and so many people have so many questions about Social Security. We haven't talked about this topic in a while. We've covered it on past shows, but it's probably been a good year, I think, or more, since we've really dug into Social Security, and there's so much to Social Security. It gets so complex. So I'm looking forward to digging into that. But first, Anthony, I have to ask, what's been going on there in the Big Easy? What have you been doing?
Well, the kids are all wound down. Everybody's out of school. And so it's really just been getting, really, I've been playing with the kids. We started doing some fishing. It's gotten so hot, but we get out there early in the morning. By about 10 o'clock, we're done. And we either caught them or we didn't. But we've been doing some fishing, Tony, and, really just working with our clients, obviously on retirement planning, been doing a bit of that. We've got, lots of folks that are doing some traveling now. So we're working with our clients and tying in schedules and all of this type of thing. But it's this summer started off, Tony, with a bang. I mean, like I say, we're big fishermen down here. So we this is our time of year from where we fish, these summer months, really end of May and then all through June. And then about mid-July is really our time to catch fish.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And I think that that's a good thing. I know you love going fishing with your family, with your boys there. So that's fun, and it is a good time. And I got to get over there and have some, I got to taste some of that fish that you catch. That's for sure.
Well, we know how to fry them, too. I found the secret is the oil, obviously, and the temperature of the oil. You wouldn't think
really
that it would. Yeah, that it was that important, but maintaining the right temperature for the fish you're frying is a big part of the fried fish coming out the right way.
Yeah, you don't want it rubbery and overcooked. I hate it when it's like chewy, when it's not light and flaky or
light, flaky, crispy, cooked through and through. Yeah.
Yep.
The temperature of oil is real important. So,
yeah.
But been enjoying that with the kids and just really, enjoying the beginning of the summer. What about you, Tony? What have you been up to?
What the highlight of my week has been is hearing about what you've been doing, Anthony.
Well, we need to get you down here, man.
I know. I love it.
So up there in Minnesota, I mean, is there? I guess it's freshwater there.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly freshwater fishing, bass, sockeye, that kind of thing.
Walleye and northern are big up here, and bass. But walleye is the big fish in Minnesota, in the lakes, and that is a good fish. It's good to eat and fun to catch. Walleye and northern are both good. But yeah. Yeah, it's actually been nice out. I've been getting outside more, although we've had a lot of rain. Today is beautiful. It's sunny. We've had so much rain and sun both for so long. Spring, we had a long spring. And what's happened is my lawn grows so much every day. I put weed and feed on it, and then it rains, sunny, rain, sunny. I have to mow it about every other day. Otherwise, it gets too long. Yeah, that's how fast it's been growing. It is crazy. It's actually really long right now because it's been 3 days since I've mowed it, or 4. Yeah, I mean, I mowed it 4 days ago. What in the world? Why would it be long?
Yeah,
again?
and then I guess if you wait too long, then it's just that much more, harder to.
Bag or mow, and then you can't just let it mulch. You have to bag it, and So yard work and stuff is what I've been up to. But let's jump into our topic. It's a good one. You said you wanted to talk about Social Security survivor benefits and really when to file, things like that. So where do you want to begin with this, Anthony?
Well, what I'd like to first say is in our retirement plans, income planning or retirement income planning is a foundational piece to anybody's retirement plan. And I would say that Social Security planning is really the foundation for income planning. So it really is an important topic. I mean, it's really, like I say, a foundational piece. I would say so many people really don't recognize how many filing strategies and how many different nuances there are as it relates to Social Security. And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, nobody's, per se been trained on every nuance. And then of course, things change. Filing strategies change and rules change. So you really have to keep up with it. And as you know, Tony, one of the staple reports or core reports that we always want to run is the Social Security Maximization Report, which is a report that really breaks down all of the scenarios. It gives us this optimization strategy where if we all just simply live to average life expectancy, we can really drill down on strategy and how we're going to pair Social Security planning with our overall retirement income plan. So it's really an invaluable report for us. But yeah, Social Security is very important. It's a foundational piece, and I think it's certainly a good topic to discuss this morning.
Oh yeah, it's a really good one, and I know there are benefits that are survivor benefits. Let's talk about that because I think there are so many things people don't know. They think filing for Social Security is simple, but if your spouse dies, you can collect Social Security even earlier than 60 if it's a survivor benefit, or earlier, I should say, than 62, right?
Correct. Yeah. So, AARP, Tony, did an article on the 10 things spouses need to know, surviving spouses as it relates to Social Security. And the very first point that this article makes is that surviving spouse, in many cases, are eligible to receive Social Security benefits at age 60. So, you lose a spouse and, there are benefits available as early as age 60 for this surviving spouse. Now, of course, it all has to be considered as far as earned income and how much income this surviving spouse is earning, because it is considered that you would be starting Social Security early. So there are some income requirements there to keep from being penalized. But it is a benefit for surviving spouses. So if you've lost your spouse and you have met the age of 60, there's a good chance that there are some benefits there waiting on you.
Now, is there a deadline to claim Social Security benefits? Like, let's say my spouse passes away and I don't realize that I'm eligible for survivor benefits, and 5 years from now I realize, oh, there's survivor benefits. Can I still claim?
Yeah, great question, Tony. And the answer is yes. There is, well, the answer is no. There's no deadline to claiming your Social Security survivor benefit. So if you were 5 years down the road and you said, hey, can I still file? The answer is yes, you can still file. So no deadline to claiming your Social Security benefits. So, there really are survivor benefits and spousal benefits there that, people just are not aware of. And that's why I say, these Social Security reports that we're able to run, what they do is they tie in all of the filing options that are available. And, invariably, Tony, when we run these Social Security reports, because, without that tool, we would, we use the tool, obviously, as a, to gather the data and the information. But without that tool, I mean, we would be lost. I mean, we have to have a tool in place where we can plug in the numbers. Now, what we ask, our client to do is to go open an account, ssa.gov, open an account at the Social Security Administration. And you can do that online. And, I know years ago, it seemed like every year, you would get your Social Security statement and earnings history from Social Security. They mailed them out. And, of course, they don't do that like they did years ago. Now you actually have to go to the website, to Social Security website, and then get your Social Security statement. We also ask that you get the earnings history. And with that information, we can run these Social Security maximization reports. And it's really incredible. So many times, there are benefits available for folks, and they just didn't realize that the benefits were there.
Wow. Okay. So that's amazing. And I know that when people come in to meet with you, Anthony, this is something you talk to them about, ask them about, and make sure that they're receiving the benefits that they are eligible for. That's amazing. So I know that we can get in the weeds. There are a lot of numbers and information on how much of your former spouse's benefit you can get, and it can be different for different people. So I would encourage our listeners to give you a call and set up a consultation. And you also have a Social Security maximization report that you'll run for them. So let's take a quick break. But before the break, Anthony, let our listeners know how they can set up that no charge, no obligation consultation. And again, at no charge, get that maximization report.
Right. Well, I would certainly encourage you to do that. The Social Security maximization report, it's a phenomenal tool. It looks at average life expectancy, and it breaks down, what if you filed at your earliest? What if you waited to full retirement age? What if you wait to, the furthest age out would be age 70. So it gives you those scenarios, and then it gives you the optimization, and it looks at all four scenarios, and it compares all four scenarios. This Social Security maximization report is incredible. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 504-828-2171 and say you heard Anthony and Tony on the radio talking about the Social Security maximization report and that you want one. And we will absolutely see about getting you your very own customized Social Security maximization report. And as I mentioned earlier, it really is a foundational report for any retirement income plan, because frankly, if you can maximize your Social Security benefits, that's going to go a long way in building out the rest of your retirement income plan. And somebody said years ago, and it's so true, for every dollar that you can enhance with your Social Security benefits, that's one less dollar that you have to have or take from your own retirement. So it really is a foundational piece. So I would encourage our listeners, if you want a Social Security maximization report, you should get it. Call our office, 504-828-2171, or just visit us online at crescentcityretirement.com and ask for the report.
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. Listeners, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more of Retirement Keys and our host, Anthony Congemi, right after this.
You've been listening to our shows and advice on getting your finances in order and creating a retirement income plan that will last. Now is the time to take advantage of our special offer. This is Anthony Congemi of Crescent City Retirement Group, and we're now offering a complimentary gourmet dinner and retirement planning workshop, the 5 Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement. This is one workshop you won't want to miss. Call in the next 20 minutes for this no-cost offer. Seating is limited. Call Crescent City Retirement Group within the next 20 minutes at 504-828-2171. That number again is 504-828-2171.
Welcome back to Retirement Keys. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore. I'm here with our host. The man with the plan is Anthony Congemi, and I think the sentiment today is...
God bless Social Security.
God bless Social Security, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And you don't want Social Security problems.
Yes. Hi. She's having Social Security problems.
Right. Many people are. So that's why we're talking about this today. And you covered some facts about survivor benefits, but there's some more things about survivor benefits that you say our listeners need to know, correct?
Yeah, there is some interesting facts. One would be that you can only apply for Social Security benefits, survivor benefits rather, at a Social Security office in person or over the phone. So you cannot apply for Social Security survivor benefits online. You have to either go in person or over the phone. Now, what we can do is run that Social Security maximization report for you, so you're more or less armed with options and you're kind of understanding what your options will be. But to actually apply, you have to go to the office in person or over the phone. And the contact for Social Security for our listeners, I'll read this number off, but if you're driving, of course, just give our office a call and we'll get you the number. But the hotline for Social Security is 1-800-772-1213. So again, it's 1-800-772-1213 is the Social Security hotline where you can schedule an in-person or over the phone, schedule a meeting so you can see about your survivor benefits.
Yeah, that's huge. And thanks for giving. It's interesting that all the applications for Social Security, like when you file, you can file online with an online form. And you can file for disability benefits online, but you cannot file for survivor benefits online. It's classic government scenario there, government run scenario. But again, that number 800-772-1213. That's the official Social Security hotline for more information. Or you can go in and Anthony, I know you and your staff are happy to help people with this and figure it out, where the local office is, that type of thing. So what else do we need to know about Social Security? In other words, I have a question. Can I get, as a retiree and a survivor of a retiree, I can't get both benefits, can I?
No, you can't get both. So, what you're going to want, obviously, is to draw off of the benefit that gets you the most out of it, right? And so that's why it's so important to get that Social Security maximization report so you can look at all those scenarios. When you have your appointment with Social Security, they certainly will run those scenarios as well. So you just want to make sure that you're getting the most, bang for your buck. as an example, Tony, if you filed at 62 and let's say, your full retirement age is 67, there's a reduction for starting early, right? I mean, so at 62, there's a 30% reduction. So if you were going to, your payment was $1,120 a month, there could be a difference of nearly $500 a month. So, that can be significant, so you really just, when we run these Social Security reports, invariably, as I mentioned, it'll give you like 4 different scenarios, but using life expectancy as a benchmark on all 4 scenarios. So, you have to use the same benchmark to be able to make comparisons, right? And invariably, we see Social Security maximization reports, from the worst strategy, let's say, to the very best strategy. It could mean, 100,000 or more in benefits that could have been collected that wasn't collected, or because of just the filing strategy that you use. So it's so important to make sure that you understand what the options are as it relates to your Social Security benefits. Certainly there's drawing off of a spouse and letting yours continue to roll up and then switching over to your record later. There's obviously the surviving spouse. So depending on the age difference between the 2 spouses, there could be a large amount of survivor benefit that could be left on the table for the surviving spouse, for, if a spouse passes away. So it really is more than just kind of old school calculator and a pen and a piece of paper and say, hey, let me figure out when to start. You really need to get that Social Security maximization report to really uncover all of the options that are out there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's huge. Okay, so now, last but not least, with the last few minutes we have, what about filing? Is it true that you should file at 62 because you get more checks, or is it true I should wait till 70 because my check's higher? What's your comment on that?
Yeah, so I know some people really have strong feelings about this.
Right.
And as you mentioned, the 62-year-old says, hey, a bird in the hand's better than 2 in a bush. I'm going to draw more checks. I'm going to start at 62. The 67-year-old or 66 and a half, whoever, whatever your full retirement age is, depending on when you were born, that person says, yeah, but I don't want to take any reduction in my Social Security benefits. I want to wait till my full retirement age and get the full benefit. But then the 70-year-old, Tony, what this person says is, yeah, but it rolls up. The income base rolls up at 8% per year. So I'm going to wait till I'm 70 and I'm going to get the highest check. So, there's 96 months between 62 and 70. And, the question is who's right, and what I will say, Tony, is the wild card is life expectancy. We don't know how long we're going to live. But so, I guess if I was going to get hit by a bus at 63, it would have been better for me to start at 62, right? So we don't know. But what we can do, Tony, and this is exactly what the Social Security maximization report does, it uses average life expectancy. It doesn't, it's not some crazy. It's just average life expectancy. If you anticipate that you would live based on your health, just average, then the Social Security reports can be are very accurate in that regard. So even though we don't have a crystal ball and we don't know exactly how long people are going to live, if we just use average life expectancy as a benchmark, and I can just tell you, Tony, in most cases, the starting at 62 is not typically the strategy that pulls out the most. Okay. But what's important is to look at, especially husbands and wives or even individuals, pull the actual Social Security numbers earnings history that show your 62 scenario, your 70 scenario, and your 62, your 67, and your 70. And then if there's a spouse involved, and we plug all that information into a Social Security maximization report, and it uses, average life expectancy. So it does use that as the benchmark, but you will be surprised at the filing strategies available and the way to proceed based on life expectancy. So even though I can't give you the answer, hey, start at this age, we can certainly run reports, look at average life expectancy, and really be, pretty doggone accurate as to what strategy you should employ.
Sure. Well, that sounds great, and a great show and great topic. If our listeners have more questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Please call the office, 504-828-2171. We are here to answer your questions, help you with that report, or visit us online at crescentcityretirement.com.
All right, sounds good. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of The Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Congemi. Thank you for listening to Retirement Keys. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, please contact Anthony Congemi at Crescent City Retirement Group. Call 504-828-2171 or visit the website at crescentcityretirement.com.
All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration, the Federal Medicare Program, or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent.